Good afternoon everyone, this is Robert Radford and 50 Years of Chess. I've got another game for you. It's from the Frome intermediate section tournament which I played last year, 2024 in Somerset, and I won that tournament. And on the way to winning that one, I played one Mr. Barry Kocan. I'd never met Barry before, I'd never played him either, and in any way, and this was an interesting game. I look forward to sharing it with you. Barry was white. He was rated around 1581 and I was 1710. So this is what happened. We played Ray Lopez. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6. Bishop B5, knight F6. Berlin, 2 knights defense. And Barry played D3. I'm so glad when people play D3 and not castles, because there's a chance of being able to catch him in a trap. And I'm going to show you what happens here. It's called the Mortimer trap. I showed this game earlier, and I showed this earlier in the game against a Chinese chap. I can't remember what his name was, from Bath. It's the same trap. It's called the Mortimer trap, and it goes knight e7. Well, it's knight takes pawn, c6. You can move the knight back to c4, and if I did take on b5, you can go knight d6, check, mate. So he played the bishop back to a5. I think the other guy I played, the Chinese guy, I think he played knight c4, looking to try and get that checkmate, but I played d6 and that stopped him, and I still won a piece, so it didn't matter because he can only go bishop back to a5, and then I go b5, and I fork the knight bishop. So I won that. And so I played queen a5 check, c3, queen takes knight, and he castled. He looked a bit shook, but he carried on. Knight g6, and he played d4. He's got a little bit of momentum, even though he lost a piece, because black's position it needs sorting out, sort of thing. I've got to be able to get my pieces out. The bishop's still stuck behind the d pawn, and my queen's under attack, so I've got to put the queen where I think is best. So I've gone queen to h5, offering a queen swap. Not sure. Yeah. So he played f3. He didn't want the queen swap. I played d6. He played c4, and I played bishop e7. I'm beginning to sort myself out now. I've got d6 out. I can get my other bishop out, and I'll be okay. So he's played bishop d7, knight c3, knight e5, bishop b3 to defend that attack ball. Strange place to put a bishop, but he had to do something. Otherwise he could get his bishop stuck there at some point. So I played pawn takes pawn, c takes d, that is, c takes d, and rook to c8. So I'm very happy with this position. At the moment, if you look at the bar on the right, white's position is showing a great drop down from the red line in the centre. So I'm doing very well. Something like 2.5 minus for the white position. So he played queen e2. a3. We don't want him making adventures with his knight into b4 or anything like that. So he played a4 to prevent me pushing on my b-pawn. Castled, bishop d2, bishop d8. I want to reposition my bishop so that it's doing something more productive than stuck there on e7. So he played rook d1, bishop b6 check, king h1, rook e8, and got a really good position there. Both bishops are actively using the diagonals. You have to swap the bishop if he wants to stop that, which he's trying to do now. But I move my bishop up a square to c5, so that if he takes, I can take my rook and double up. So he went queen to f2. It's not a bad move from Barry. And I played b6. So this is the plan. If he takes, I don't have to take with the bishop and with the rook now. I can just take with the pawn. And that looks really good. So we went back with the knight to e2. And this is where I caught him here in a little trap. Knight takes on e4. He's got to be careful because if he moves the queen back to g1, I've got knight g3 checkmate. And so it's not easy for him to do, so he took the knight. And then I played knight to g4, threatening checkmate on h7. He's got to combat this. He played queen takes f7. So this is where Barry is stuck now, because he's got to do something about the h-pawn. He's got to protect it somehow. So this was a very nice setup for me. I played queen takes queen after he played queen takes pawn check. Rook takes. And here he was expecting me to play king takes rook so that he could play rook check. And then maybe bishop takes bishop. But I played bishop takes bishop and let him keep his rooks. Because as you'll see, if he plays rook takes bishop, I've got knight f2 check, winning the rook on d1. So I brought my knight back into f6, so that rook is trapped there now on f7. He's going to lose it, so he swapped it by taking the knight. And then when I took the knight, now Barry's played knight c3. I think he's in a lot of trouble, whatever he does. So then I went bishop back to d4, and he'd had enough. He'd resigned. Tough game for Barry, this one. I had so many things going for me in this game. And it really helps when you can pull off a little trap or something in the opening part of the game. And your opponent is playing with a handicap. It doesn't really reflect on how the game would have gone had it been evens. But I fancy he wasn't good enough to be able to beat me on that day. But he's a nice guy. I got on alright with him. Barry's a nice fella. And I wish him all the best if he ever gets to see this video. Thank you, and I hope to see you again very soon.